OTAs, basically, for lack of a better word, they're a discovery channel, plain and
Yeah.
simple.
Yep.
They put you in front of the people who you'd never find otherwise. But the moment that guest checks in, it is your job to make sure they never book you through a OTA again.
Yeah.
And that means offering incentives, personalized recognition, unforgettable moments. The line is margin. If OTA fees are eating into your profitability, you're letting someone else own your guests.
Welcome to Behind the Stays, a podcast that shares the stories behind your favorite boutique hotels, short-term rentals, and hospitality brands, and the hosts, operators, and entrepreneurs who've brought them to life. Every Tuesday and Friday, you'll meet the military veterans, the retired flight attendants, the tech entrepreneurs, the school teachers, the single moms, the hoteliers, and real estate investors who are all, in their own unique ways, shaping the future of travel and hospitality. Discover how these visionaries from all over the world have built stunning landscape hotels in the mountains, designed bohemian bungalows on the beach, erected eclectic, off-grid, nature-immersed escapes, and so much more. Behind the Stays is brought to you by Journey, a first-of-its-kind loyalty program that brings together an alliance of the world's top independently owned and operated stays and allows travelers to earn points and perks on boutique hotels, vacation rentals, tree houses, ski chalets, glamping experiences, and so much more. And I'm your host, Zach Boozy Cruz, head of the Journey Alliance. All right, friends, without further ado, enjoy the show. Some people chase clout. Scott Eddy collects humans and turns conversations into careers. He's the guy who can turn a DM into a deal, a walkthrough video into a booking, and a dinner into a decade-long partnership. He doesn't posture, he shows up, and does so early. Today, I'm joined by Scott. He's hard to label by design. He's a Wall Street closer who hates the word expert, a self-proclaimed non-golfer in a loud golfer shirt, who lives in airports, hotels, and on cruise ships. He was an early Twitter force who became a breaking news signal from Bangkok, and then built one of Asia's first hotel-focused digital agencies before most brands could even spell SEO. Scott's story pivots on a single life-bending moment. He grew up destined for the police academy until his father was killed in the line of duty weeks before graduation. A decade in finance followed, a firm sale cracked the door open, and then a one-way ticket to Thailand blew it off the hinges. 11 years later, with friendships stitched across Asia and Europe and, well, frankly, the world, he had learned the playbook most Western brands skip. Brand building starts with humility, and trust is earned at dinner tables, not in boardrooms. Back in the States, Scott doubled down on what actually moves the needle. Reply to every comment, post consistently without trend chasing, flip OTA guested direct, and treat service, not tech, as the last true luxury. If you are an independent property or lead a hospitality team, this is a masterclass in building gravity, one honest interaction at a time. All right, friends, without further ado, get ready to meet Scott Eddy, or as he's better known on social, Mr. Scott Eddy. Mr. Scott Eddy, we are live. How are you doing this fine morning, good sir?
I'm good, man. I'm in sunny Miami, and I'm here in between trips, and all good.
You've got a really fun shirt on. I love that shirt, man.
Thanks, man.
It's like a mood. It's like a vibe in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great. I love it.
I'm not even a golfer.
You're not even a golfer. Yeah.
No,
look,
but I love the clothes. Like,
yeah.
I hate golf. Golf's boring. You hit a ball and then you chase it. Come on. Come on.
Yeah. It's just an excuse to get away from your wife, your kids, whoever you're trying to get away from for a few hours.
Right,
and drink with the boys. But hey, man, I have been following you for a bit, and it's been, and admittedly, like it, not as long as I know that many of the people that are listening to this conversation have probably followed you, but it's been so amazing to kind of dive in, see a little bit of how you see the world, or at least how your content makes me think that you see the world. And you have an incredible story. You've got a background in finance. You wind up sort of like leaving that for the great unknown of entrepreneurship, specifically content creation and hospitality creation, content creation in particular. So I want to dive into all of that. But because you're such a personality, and your online presence is just fantastic. I thought you would have a fun answer to this question. I don't ask it to everyone that comes on the show, but I'm going to ask it to you, which is that if I were to crash a happy hour with you and your closest friends, and if I were to ask them to tell me a little bit about Scott, what would they say, or is there a story they might immediately tell?
So, they would say Scott's an hour early for everything. He's super dependable, and he would take a bullet for any one of his friends. But B, they would also say that they would kill to have my life because they just see the fun stuff. And, basically all my friends that aren't in this business, they all have very normal lives, wives, kids, job, and those things are, while they're wonderful, and I come from a huge family, they do handcuff you, and you're not able to make the aggressive decisions that I've made in my life. They'd probably laugh and tell you I live in airports, hotels, and on cruise ships. And, they say that I've turned being social into a career because I genuinely love humans. I love being around people. I love connecting with people. I reply to every DM that comes in, every comment that comes in. That's how we're here.
Yeah. Well,
I replied to a DM.
You did. And what's so amazing about that is that, usually I'll go out and do some prospecting, and for folks who have kind of the level of social presence that you do, like usually if they do get back to me, it takes a while, right? Like, it takes maybe a couple weeks, right? And then it's like, oh, thank you so much. I actually like the show. Please reach out to my PR person, who then I can talk to, and then I reach out to the PR person, and then it's like 3 months, and then maybe maybe by that time I'm bored and like I've moved on, and or like they're not available, and anyways, it's such a cluster. So having you reply so quickly was quite frankly shocking and amazing, and like an unfair advantage.
I just don't understand. Like, why do people have to make it so difficult, and why people have to be so fancy?
Yeah,
like, what's the big deal? I'll give anybody 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then if it's a waste of time, then whatever. Then you move on. You block and move on. Like, it's no big deal.
Yeah. No, I think what it is, right, is like you get to a certain level and it's really just these like vanity metrics anyways. And then somehow you think that like you're better than some individual or some class of individuals. I mean, it is. Normal. It's weird. And honestly, the people that you love the most are normal. And so it's
Correct.
like, okay, there's this huge like threshold between like fake expert and or like fake, social fake influencer.
I hate that word so much.
Yeah.
So I had in my bio, I had it for the longest time. I'm not a guru. I'm not an expert.
Yeah. Thank you.
Because everybody puts it in their bio. Like, what makes you an expert? Like, I might know a lot of stuff about hospitality because I've been in it for 16 years. I might know about social media, but like, who really labels you as an expert?
Yeah.
It's what other people call you. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't call myself, like, that's the most egotistical thing I've ever heard.
It is. And it's I think about all like the courses, right, that are out there, all the content about how to do things, and it's like for $10,000 or for $9.99, you get access to my insights on X, Y, and Z, and it's like, dude, you've literally built like 3 things, and like
and they've all failed.
And like I've got a friend in the industry who says this all the time. He's like, there's more money in like content about how to do things than there is in like the actual industry on doing things.
Right.
And so, and like there's a lot of truth to that. So but you seem very authentic. You seem very, which, is another word I kind of hate, but whatever it is, it's a helpful word. You have this like really storied background though that I want to dive into. Before you kind of hopping around and doing all this fun stuff, you're working in finance. Tell us like a little bit about how you grew up and why you made the career decisions you made initially, and then help us establish that through line between then and now.
So I grew up very normal. My dad was a police officer. His family's police officers. My mom's side, they're all cops. And when I was growing up, I spent a lot of time in the police station, in cars, going on ride-alongs, and just learning because my life was set up. I was going to finish high school, join the police academy, get married, have the 2.5 kids, retire, and die. Like that was my life.
Yeah.
So I had a date to join the police academy. 6 months after I graduated high school. And 3 weeks before I graduated high school, my father was killed in the line of duty. And it
Jeez.
turned my whole world upside down. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to be a cop anymore.
Mm.
But the problem is that was the only world that I knew. So my friend's friend was a stockbroker in New York, and this was 1989, so the markets are going through the roof. And he's like, these guys are moving down from New York. They're opening up an investment banking firm in South Florida. I can get you in the training program. And I'm like, are you crazy? Like, I don't know math. I don't know. I never went to college. I have no desire to go to college. I was a horrible student. I barely graduated. And he's like, well, you have no other options. So, and he was right. So I did it. And I worked in investment banking for 10 years. And the good thing is I learned how to sell anything to anyone. I learned, I mean, these guys were just pit bulls. So, and the guy who sat next to me, his best friend was an expat who worked in Thailand. So
Okay.
every time he used to come home and visit, we used to hang out, and he always used to tell me, come visit, it'll change your life. And I said, bro, I work 90 hours a week. I can't take a 24-hour flight. Like, the math doesn't work out. So they came out of the office one day. It was January of 99. It was a Friday, and said, we just sold a firm. If you show up on Monday, you're going to have a new owner. And half the firm resigned, including myself. That guy called me the next day on Saturday and said, get your butt over to Thailand. Come visit me. You have no job. So I left the next day on Sunday, bought a 2-week ticket. And after 4 days, I called my mom and was like, I love it over here. I'm never coming home. And I lived there for 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my
So that's
gosh.
how it happened.
Wow. Okay. And you didn't just live there, you built an incredible business there. So
First and foremost, I partied my butt off all over Asia for about 4 or 5 years and made friends everywhere and really got acclimated, because living in Asia is like another planet.
yeah.
First
How
off,
so?
everybody's kind, which, this country could learn a lot from. But it's just amazing. It's
Mm.
just, there's opportunities everywhere. I mean, when I was there, Thailand was really developing. I mean, they're a lot more mature now, but it was a real developing country. I was there in the infancy stage, and I know people that were even there before me.
Yeah.
So, and then social media came out, and I was like, well, I got to do something, but because I want to stay and live overseas, I don't want to go back home. And I was like, well, I know how to sell. Why don't I open up a marketing agency? And all the guys that I'm partying with, they're all families own hotels. So I'm like, I don't know, like maybe we could do something there. So I set something up, and it turned out to be the first digital agency in Asia. And I had like 27 hotel clients in 3 weeks, and we just crushed it.
Wow.
Um,
And take us back, Scott, to like, what did the services actually look like then? Because
not what they look like today.
I'm
Like,
sure.
back then it was developing mobile apps. So I had 2 mobile app developers, building out websites,
Yeah.
SEO, graphic design, and then it evolved into social media. But those were originally everybody wanted a website. Hotel websites were everything back in the 2000s. So we did the first wave of crazy hotels in Bali. We did all the Thai islands, all the Vietnamese islands. When the Western casinos entered Macau, Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, that whole launch.
Yeah. You guys were a part of that.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Amazing. So because there's so much we could unpack there, but like, were there a couple of lessons in particular that you sort of learned in that season, right? There's so much opportunity. It's brand new. Digital, as we know it today, is just beginning to sort of like rear its head. When you think back to those times, are there one or two lessons that like you
Well,
and maybe even one or two decisions you made then that really set
yeah.
you up for the next chapter?
Yeah. I mean, listen, Bangkok taught me that brand building starts with humility. In
Mm,
Asia, relationships mean more than contracts. Trust is built at dinner tables, not in boardrooms.
mm,
Too many Western hotel brands, they try to copy and paste their US mindset and their European model into Asia, thinking their name alone carries the weight. And what they miss is the cultural nuance. In Thailand, for example, hierarchy, respect, humility are woven into every interaction. And if you ignore that, you'll never win their hearts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And their hearts control the business. So you're never going to get anything. When I built the agency in Bangkok, we were ahead of the curve. Terms like personal brand, influencer marketing, they weren't words.
Yeah.
But I knew digital trust would one day drive business. And what we got right was localizing everything, our team, our strategy, our storytelling, while applying the best global practices. The lesson was simple. Global scale only works if it's paired with local relevance.
Oh, so
So
well
that's
said.
what I really learned.
Yeah. And then did you guys, as you evolved, talk to us a little bit about, right, how, okay, the internet and social sort of like really take off. Social commerce becomes a thing. The rise of influencers everywhere become a thing, right? Now, again, obviously, these things happen in phases. They took a little bit of time. Different markets responded to them at different times. But where, like, at what point in time did you sort of see or observe this sort of shift happening between how brands communicated on social and how and specifically like the rise of the social creator and the influence, right? People call them influencers, people call them creators. But at what point in time did you, given how early you were in this game, when did you see that as becoming a thing?
Not then.
Okay.
So I only owned the agency for 5 years, and then I sold out. But at the same time, I was very early on social. Like I was probably first 2,000 people on Twitter.
Wow.
I was the first American expat in every Asian country to have 1 million followers on Twitter.
Wow.
Which back then got me headline news, which got me consulting gigs, which got me speaking gigs, which only grew my personal brand more, and it all steamrolled and other platforms. And what people don't know is when Instagram first came out, 3 out of the first 4 years Instagram was in existence, the most Instagram place on the planet was Bangkok.
Interesting.
I mean, over here, you talk to people and tell them to post once a day, and they're like, no, my followers will get tired of me. I mean, you have people over there posting like 9-10 times a day.
Wow.
I mean, it's like on steroids over there. It's insane.
Wow.
Insane. You got to understand the social shopping thing that's huge on TikTok right now.
Yeah.
It's been a $1 billion business in China for a decade.
Yeah. So let's unpack this a little bit, because why? So in many ways, right? Obviously, the West we think of ourselves as more progressive on many fronts. And then you also have these examples where, from a technological perspective, like you've got folks who were doing social commerce, shopping via social long before we were. What were your observations of those cultural dynamics, and how did they like intersect with each other?
So the only thing I knew for sure is social was going to get big. I didn't know how big. I didn't know if people were going to be buying online back then. I mean, like who would have thought that, Jeff Bezos wanted to sell books online? People laughed at him.
Yeah.
Now he sells everything online.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like that was even before that. It just wasn't mature. I mean, it was a constant learning curve. It was learning as you go. And you never stop learning.
Yeah.
I still today watch 2 to 3 hours of YouTube every single day to learn.
Yeah.
Whether it's digital conferences around the world, whether it's people bigger than me, smaller than me, I don't care who it is. If it's a housekeeper online and they have 1 subscriber and they're saying something valuable to me, I'm learning. I don't care. I have no ego who I learn from. So, I mean, it's a constant learning curve. So, truth be told, I lived in Europe and Asia for 17 years in 6 different countries. It wasn't until I came back home in 2015 that social media got mature and the word personal brand was big.
Yeah.
It's a influencer could actually be your job. I was using my personal brand to get me into doors, to get me consulting gigs, but I never even got a free glass of wine for a post when I lived overseas.
Yeah. So, okay. How did you garner like such a large following? So you were one of the first, if not the first, American expat in several countries.
I was just early. I was just very early, posting a lot.
You would just post a lot, and then people would just be like, "Oh, because there are like 7 people on the platform, let's follow this guy who's said something smart." Or like,
so No. So back then, Twitter was very much news.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I was also in Thailand when the earthquake hit Japan.
Mm,
Constant
mm,
news source. I was just like pumping out information, and and there was no CNN app.
yeah,
There was no streaming apps. There was no. I
yeah,
mean, you were getting your news from Twitter.
yeah.
So like all these news reporters in the US were retweeting my stuff. So I got all kinds of exposure that way. I was also in Bangkok when the tsunami hit.
Mm,
I was
wow,
in
yeah.
Bangkok when they did the coup. I was in Bangkok when when they had the floods. I mean, all these major news events. Yeah, I mean they all helped, but truth be told, I was just active. I I was never afraid to communicate and or meet up with somebody that I met online. I mean,
Mm,
I would say 95% of the people in my life I met on social.
wow,
My
wow.
photographer that I travel with every trip that I go on, we do 20 countries a year. I met him in Instagram DM.
That's amazing. I no, yeah. I mean, and that's how the
And
world works today.
you and I met on LinkedIn DM.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly,
that's
exactly.
just the way it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you have this like very exciting. You're sort of on the as the wave is cresting with social, with digital, with the rise of the potential
Yeah,
that we all knew it carried. You
correct.
were riding that wave.
Yeah.
So talk to us a little bit about you had these initial hotel clients, right? You did consulting along the way as your following grew in probably an array of areas. Talk to us specifically about like why you decided to double down on hospitality and travel. Obviously, travel meant a lot to you. You were living overseas, but like because that niche in particular, when it comes to creators
So,
today, is like
yeah,
huge, right? And everyone wants to be a travel creator.
of
Everyone wants to
course.
be a travel influencer. It's sexy. It's cool, right? Like of all the areas to kind of really double down on, why this industry?
So, back in those days, the wine industry was very active on Twitter. So all the
Mm,
wine writers, bloggers, somms, master somms, everybody was on Twitter.
mm,
That was actually the first group of people that I met online.
mm.
Very, very hooked up in the wine world. To this day, one of my closest friends is the only master sommelier in New Zealand, and we
Wow.
met on Twitter. All my wine friends in Portugal, we met on Twitter. I mean, I could go on and on. So the wine industry is run by dinosaurs and they don't invest in digital. And until those people die off and the kids take over, there is no real money in marketing wine.
Mm,
So I use wine for content. I don't get paid by the wine world because
mm,
I don't want to spin my wheels in the mud. I want to actually make a career out of this.
yeah.
So what where is my low hanging fruit? All my friends are in the nightlife industry, hospitality, hotels. These are my connections. These are my closest friends. So I just went for the low hanging fruit.
Mm,
Now
mm.
it's very cool,
Yeah.
but you're talking about 16 years ago when social just started.
Yeah.
That's when all this started. Like I've been talking about, yeah, I didn't coin the term hospitality in my bio from day one. It evolved. Everything
Yeah.
evolves.
Yeah. Yeah.
My
Yeah. Yeah.
profile picture evolves. My bio evolves. You know,
Yeah.
like everything evolves. Nothing stays the same. And that's one of the reasons that brands don't evolve. They don't look at the brand as a human,
Mm,
and they
mm.
need to.
Yeah. 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 And therein lies right this like this real tension, right? Because there's fear associated with
Of course it is.
change,
Of
right?
course it is.
Hey, I no, 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 but like I'm known as this, right? People know me, people love me as this, right? I think about this all the time, right? Like who you were in grade school versus who you were in high school versus who you were in college versus who you are as a
Yeah.
professional. For some people, they're exactly the same, right?
Yeah.
But for I think most people, and sometimes very intentionally, there is a shift in like, no, 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 like if you look at people's friends from each of these eras, right? And you're like, wow, how the hell were you in this circle and now you're in this circle? And there is this kind of like natural evolution. Now,
Right.
again, for some people, it's more intentional than others, but from a brand's perspective, like you rarely see that done, and you rarely see that done at least well. There's lots of flops, right?
Correct.
Why do you think that is, especially in hospitality? Like why is there such why do we have so much fear about change?
Because they're afraid.
Yeah.
because because the bigger the brand gets, the slower they move. Everything requires a million approvals. And it's like,
Yeah.
for what?
Yeah.
Just make a decision. Like
Yeah.
social doesn't work that way. They like hotels, the hospitality industry as a whole, they still move. You're in the most dynamic industry, the most
Yeah.
visually appealing industry, the most
Yes.
sexy industry. And yet you move like T-Rex. Like, I don't understand what you're waiting for.
Yeah. Yeah. This is maybe an interesting segue into some questions I have for you on as you were growing up in social, right? Organic was huge. It was easier. At least the perception now is that it was easier then. I'm sure everyone always says that, but as you think about independent hotels today, as you think about independent hospitality brands, obviously we're seeing this from our perspective, anyways. This kind of shift to consumers want more bespoke experiences. They want the vibey spot. They want the more boutique property as opposed to sort of a flag hotel. We see this in sort of consumer expectations and consumer desire. What, from your perspective, should independent hotels be doing right now with respect to marketing, with respect to social, with respect to brand building to really set themselves up for success for that next generation consumer?
Hire full-time social media team.
Mm,
The number one problem with most hotels is they don't have that. And if they
yeah.
do have that, they pile on 15 other job responsibilities on top of social. And then they're like, oh, yeah, and when you get a chance, do a post. And they'll do a post and walk away, which means all the replies that they get or all the comments that they get right away, they're not going to get replied to for days, if not weeks, if not ever.
Yeah.
Most brands don't reply ever.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a human being on the other side. You don't know what that human being can turn into. It could
Yeah.
turn into your biggest client ever. You have no
Yeah.
idea. I did a trip a few trips ago, and I always do a walkthrough of my room. And
Mm,
it's literally nothing special. It's not fully edited. It's just me doing one full swoop video showing every corner of the room, me talking about the resort. I might brighten it up, but there's no cuts, there's no edits. If I mess up, I mess up. And then I post it. It's like usually about a minute and a half to 3 minutes, depends on what it is. And the first comment that came in said, how much is that room over this holiday and how do I book? I looked this morning. It still has not been replied to. It
wow.
was over a month ago.
Wow. That's crazy.
And then
That's
and
crazy.
then hotels say that there's no ROI.
Yeah.
Well, you don't set yourself up to create the ROI. Like, what are you doing? Like, it kills me.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. So, yes, they need full-time people. And they need
Yeah.
to be full-time that.
Yeah.
Not full-time other things that, okay, do it when you get a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need to push out content. You need to humanize your brand. You need to listen, everybody's not going to have this, but I would turn the whole staff into a marketing team.
Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to get on video. If you don't want to get on video, show the property. Just do a voiceover. Just do it. There's always something that you can do.
Yeah.
If you're a bartender, like set up a tripod right there, just make a drink. Like your hands are okay, right? They're not shy. They're like, there's always something that you can do.
Do you think, though? So this is one thing I've spent a little bit of time thinking about, which is that in hospitality, right? Like there is this illusion of perfection, right? And I think people they're buying a feeling, like essentially. And so when it comes to communicating on social, right? Your brand and what you want these digital prospective guests to see, there's a real tension there between seeing the unedited, unpolished bartender mixing a drink versus the highly edited, beautiful, trending audio, right? Reel. How do you think about like that tension?
So I've never done a trend in my life, and I'm big on social. I
You're a
have
trendsetter. Yeah.
I've never done a trend in my life, and I have no desire. It doesn't fit my brand. I have no desire. It's just dumb. I mean, I'm never going to be
Yeah.
one of those prankster YouTubers.
Yeah.
I don't care how big the Paul brothers get, but it's I mean, you just have to get in it. You have
Yeah.
to. It is the leading channels of communication today.
Yeah.
How can you not take this seriously?
Yeah.
Look at these developing countries, these third world countries, and when they have a coup, what happens when the military comes in and tries to take over the current government? First thing they do, stop the news, social media, and newspaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if the social media channels could potentially overturn a coup, they can't sell a hotel room? Like, are you joking me? Are you seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's mind blowing.
Yeah. So how do you think about investment then? Because I'm 100% aligned with you, right? And it's shocking to me too that when you hear about how much people will invest, right, in email, or how much people will in email marketing, right, in email software, when you think about how much people will invest in SEO, right? And I think like SEO has been totally disrupted in many respects. It's still important. There's sort of this this next chapter of SEO, which folks are calling like GEO, right? Like there's a lot there. But social in
Oh,
terms of an acquisition channel is kind of like the most important, if not
of course it
definitively the
is.
most important. And yet, why are we still paying social media creators, managers, like entry level salaries, essentially, to go and do that plus, as you mentioned earlier, 5 other things? Like
So
there's
I'll give you the
clearly.
reason. I'll,
What was
I'll,
that?
I'll
Yeah,
I'll give
give me
you
the
I'll
reason.
give
Give
you
me
the
the reason.
reason. The reason is anything that doesn't produce ROI overnight, they don't think is important.
So I can send an email, and even though I'm blasting that email to 100,000 people and I got a few bookings from that initial email, it feels like that email just worked because it immediately brought in a booking, 24 hours after sending that email. And that perception of immediate ROI, even if you look at sort of like, you know, the actual conversion rate on those emails and them being pretty abysmal, that just feels good. It feels like it's working, so it's easier to justify more investment.
I'll give you an example. I know a hotel owner in the Caribbean. I'm not going to say what island or hotel that still spends $15,000 a month to put an ad in a magazine because his friend owns it, but will not invest in a full time employee for social media.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
That is the example for the whole industry because
Yeah.
that is exactly the way it goes. They don't, even though brand is the most important thing right now, because wait until voice search takes over written search.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
voice search takes over, you're done. If you don't
Yeah.
have brand, you are done. So brand is the most important thing right now. And if you're not investing in building a brand, like, you might as well just close up. I mean, you're
Yeah.
not going out of business tomorrow, but you're losing market share by the day, for sure.
Well, also, doesn't this just especially for independents, doesn't this just like guarantee you like you're just on the path to flagging, like essentially, like that will be your only option is to join, right?
100%.
A Marriott
Well,
or
you
Hilton.
won't have a choice.
You won't
So,
have a choice. Yeah.
okay. It's just like now I know a couple hotels that are really taking Instagram seriously.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
not when it first started,
Yeah.
and they're frustrated because they're not growing.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to grow on Instagram now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, LinkedIn, which is owned by the biggest dinosaur on the planet, Microsoft, has been around for 16 years, 15 years. I mean, how long has LinkedIn been around? Like forever,
Yeah.
right? LinkedIn is just getting cool now.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
turning more and more into Facebook and Instagram every day, but you still have the same people.
Yep.
So even though I have 1.4 million across all platforms outside of LinkedIn, the past 8 months, my most active platform is LinkedIn. I'm
Yeah.
posting 4 times a day, even on Saturdays and Sundays, and killing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. Yeah.
killing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. 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 And
because the
there's
growth
yeah.
is now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The problem is brands don't move fast, and they don't believe you. They want to see the growth. Well, after you've already seen it, that's like being in the stock market. Once you see the news on CNBC, it's too late.
Yeah.
The stock's
Yeah.
already made its run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh, that's
You
so well
buy
said.
on the rumor, you sell on the news. Like that's hello.
Yeah. Tale as old as time. So
Yeah.
so how then, like, let's say you're working with a, a hotelier who's like, Scott, I hear you, right? And I want to do this the right way. And yeah, I am just starting from ground zero, right, on Instagram. I still think
Right.
you can correct me if you feel differently. I still think as a platform, Instagram is like the place to be if you're trying to build a
Of
hotel
course.
brand,
Of
especially
course.
a
It's
luxury lifestyle hotel
mature.
brand.
The
It's mature.
analytics are there. The ad set is there. Yeah.
You're
Cross
in the
over into
consumer, and
Facebook.
yeah, the
Gold. Of
consumer is there,
course. I get it.
and whatnot. So how are you building this playbook today, right? Someone who they're new to hospitality, maybe they even understand, maybe they're like you, they built an agency before, but it's the first time they're building a hotel brand. What should their first, like, I don't know, year look like with respect to building the right strategy?
So day one, I would help them hire the right person.
Yeah,
And then I would train the right person. And then I would create an internal playbook. I would teach them how to tell the story of the property through content, through
yeah,
real time storytelling. People connect with people, they don't
mm,
connect with faceless brands.
yeah, yeah,
In the first 30 days, I'd build momentum internally. I would train the team, create processes, start posting raw, authentic content. Because if there's one good thing that came out of COVID, is raw, shaky phone videos do better than polished videos.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I have some videos that I used to have a client in Kenya, and I did safaris with them twice a year for 4 years before the
Wow,
pandemic, right? And it was like, I mean, the content that I got from my phone was like Nat Geo stuff.
wow,
But like
yeah.
one time I took a video guy and it was like Steven Spielberg. It was like ridiculous. But my phone shaky stuff did better.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's so frustrating for those of us too that like spend so much time on the polished stuff,
Of
and then you're like,
course. Of
damn
course.
it, like
Yeah.
what? This person's just
I
doing this, and
I get
took
it.
them 2
So
seconds.
in the second 30 days, I create partnerships with local restaurants, experiences, influencers to cross-pollinate audiences.
Yeah,
And for the final 30 days, so this is a 90-day plan sort of.
yeah,
So
yeah,
for the final 30 days, I'd launch organic storytelling campaigns across social and email, highlighting real guests and their stories.
yeah, yeah,
Everybody's not going to say yes, but I'd try.
yeah,
Now, the three metrics I'd obsess over:
yeah. Please.
direct bookings, share versus OTA share,
Yeah, yeah,
social engagement rate, comments, saves, shares, not vanity likes. And the third is email list growth and open rates. Now,
yeah,
together, these metrics tell you if the story is landing and if it's turning into revenue.
yeah,
And if it
yeah,
doesn't, you have to give it the full 90 days. And if it doesn't, you shift a little bit.
yeah, yeah,
Like it's like a website. It's like your personal brand. Like my brand is not complete. I
yeah,
got messed up stuff all over the place. But I try. And
yeah,
I'm a one man show. I don't have like it's just me.
yeah,
I don't have a team. Like if somebody does a post, somebody writes a caption, it's me.
yeah,
If
yeah,
somebody replies to a DM, it's me. I
yeah.
don't have an assistant replying to my emails. It's me. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, no, I mean it's, and you are certainly unique
It
in
sounds simple, no?
yeah, it
Doesn't it
does. It
sound
does.
simple?
It sounds so simple. I mean, and I will say, like, there is obviously a difference between building a personal brand where you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, for whoever you want,
But,
versus when
hold
you
on,
are,
hold on.
yeah,
An independent hotel has the right, has just that same right.
100%, except for the fact, right, that there are multiple stakeholders involved,
Of
right?
course,
You are your
I
only
get that.
stakeholder. Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
I get that. They got to all buy in, and there lies the problem.
So I think there's this hotel brand called Archer Hotels. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but they have like 9 boutique hotels that are under the Archer brand, and they've
Right.
got like a bunch of the ownership group has a bunch of branded hotels that they own as well. I think they have, and I live like right down the street from one, and I'm friends with the GM, and so this is why they came to mind. Their whole, like, on their website, they've got this this cool story of like who
Right.
Archer is,
Right.
and Archer's this like savant. He's this like mysterious character, all this fun stuff. They literally bring none of that into their social, and it's like, dude, you guys have done the hard work. Like you've created this like
Crazy.
mysterious
Crazy.
figure that like
Yeah.
is the undertone of your brand. I mean, talk about an opportunity for storytelling. And I keep talking to other friends and folks who are doing some cool projects. I'm like, you find a character, like build a character, design a digital character that
100%.
represents your brand. Maybe you can't call it, the same name or whatnot. Maybe it's not Archer per se, but how could you develop a digital persona? Someone, the perfect representation of your brand that gives you so much permission to like be fun, be creative, tell really interesting
100%.
stories,
100%.
and people don't like, and people don't do that. And I'm like,
And let
that
me
seems
tell
like
you something.
easy.
Today with AI,
Exactly.
like it's easier than ever.
Thousands.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, hey, let me just tell you everything about who Archer is, how he thinks, how he feels,
crazy.
how he writes, and then generate content for me. And it's just like it's a ridiculously missed opportunity. So I want your thoughts too, because I think about the power that revenue management teams have for hotels, right? Even the power at the leadership level. How do we help folks? Because if you talk to any individual, at least at the executive level, and you talk to them about social media, or you talk to them about like content, I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, we shouldn't like it. It's not. We should not have an Instagram page, or like we should not be creating content." Right? I'm sure you've heard that back in the day. Today, people aren't saying that.
They used to laugh at me.
I'm sure. Today, there's this common understanding and agreement that yes, these things are important, but then that's where
but not important enough to invest in properly.
Exactly. So
but how do
exactly? But so how do we fill that gap? Like, what needs to happen? What pain do people need to feel?
The reason I'll have a job for 50 years. I'll go down with the ship, screaming at the top of the hill.
You just got to call Scott Eddy. Scott Eddy's gonna come in and save the day. Yeah, I mean,
crazy. It's crazy. Do I wish that the industry would turn and make a U-turn right now, and I'll have to concentrate on another revenue stream? Of course.
Yeah.
But
will
they
that
won't.
happen? Yeah.
They won't do it. They move too slow. Yeah. I'm 54. I will go down with the ship. I will die before they change. It's crazy.
Yeah. And is it just because there's this like thinking at the end of the day that, well, everyone wants to travel, everyone wants to vacation. The market is so freaking massive because it's just about every human on the face of the earth that wants to do these things, and therefore like it's really just a matter of time before they will, and they will find us when they're ready. Like, we've built it, they will eventually come. Is it hubris? Like, what do you think? I know it's a lot of different things for a lot of different reasons, but any musings or insights there?
I think it's a lot of ego.
Yeah.
I think people think that their brand is a lot better than they actually are. And I don't think that people realize that the people doing it wrong. And listen to me, everybody watching this video, for all of you that are doing it wrong, and you're going to laugh and you're going to stop the video. The people that are doing it wrong, you are losing market share by the day. Because there's somebody coming up behind you with more money than you, with more experience than you, that's younger than you, that's willing to take the risk, that's willing to make the investment, that's going to steamroll you.
Yeah. I think you're spot on. What do you think about the next, let's say, 2 years, right? AI, as we know it, is obviously continuing to change dramatically each and every day. I'm sure you've seen sort of just, I mean, I won't go on a rant here. I hate the whole like AI generated LinkedIn comments. Like, I'll post on LinkedIn and I'm like, wow, like you couldn't even take the time to like be thoughtful in your response to my post. You're outsourcing
like a dash in between every word.
Well, and it's just like, thank you, Zach, for, and then it like in the next sentence perfectly like summarizes everything I talked about on the hour-long podcast. And I was like, you're ridiculous. Like, dude, don't comment on my post unless you're gonna like say something like original. Like, no, but now obviously AI has incredible number of use cases for an array of things, but like we're still super early in this race. There is certainly this fear, right, of like, well, as traditional SEO, as we know it, has gone down as folks are. I mean, even I'm sure your behavior too, Scott. Like the amount of times I start a search now with ChatGPT versus Google is like it's changing dramatically by the day. Like
Of course.
it is wild. Like and I helped run an SEO agency myself, so I understand like what that world is like. It's very scary. But in the next couple years, right, as the smart, savvy marketer that you are, where are you focusing your time and energy? We've obviously spent a lot of time talking about the importance of building up a social media team, right? But where else uh, deserves investment? What questions should people be asking themselves? Where should people be experimenting?
I am leaning heavily into shooting video series that really humanizes the brand.
Mm,
So, the end of September, I'm speaking at a conference in Croatia, and then I'm going right to Istanbul, and I'm going to be filming with the biggest tour company there.
wow.
And we're actually filming a video series. We're filming 5 8-minute videos and one long 30-minute videos, all about the legacy of this family that still owns the tour company, and they've owned it for 60 years.
Wow.
All like just it's straight legacy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is, and obviously every brand can't do that, but I'm that kind of thing is something that I'm huge on right now.
Yeah.
I'm really, really huge on just going deep, deep, deep with the story
Yeah.
about the humans involved with the company.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the humanization of brands is going to be the next biggest thing. It's already a big thing,
Yeah.
but for the dinosaurs, it's the next biggest thing.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, and to see if anyone wants like a signal too of like why I totally agree with what you're saying, is that you see this like build in public, right, has really become a thing,
Of
right?
course.
These entrepreneurs that are
Yeah,
literally telling like, hey, this is how I'm doing this. Like
yeah,
watch me build this hotel from the
yeah,
ground up with no
100%,
money. Like, and
100%.
that kind of content is incredibly attractive. Like you're rooting for your hero, like you want them to win. They're showing you the pain, they're showing you like the lost battle, but you're hoping that they win the war. And to your point, right? I think some of the best brands in the world, the ownership, the people behind them, it's all kind of mysterious. Like you have to go like pretty deep, and then you realize, oh, it's a private equity firm that owns it. Like that's
Correct.
not that interesting,
Right.
right? And so for independence, right? Like I'm 100% with you. Like that's the opportunity. That's the next wave of
Yeah.
organic, right? Is like
Yeah.
just true, authentic. Like why did your family has owned this land for 4 decades? You're doing this new project for the very first. I
You
actually
have a
recently had
crazy story. Like,
you
why
have a
not
crazy
tell it?
story. Exactly, and, like, I'm gonna help you tell it, right? And I'm gonna
Right.
invest in you.
Correct.
You are not going to be on Netflix, like, your story's not Netflix
Yeah.
worthy, but it
Yeah.
could be, like,
Yeah.
my YouTube channel
Right.
worthy,
Right. Right.
right? And, like, I think that is it's just such an exciting time. People love story. We've loved story as a species our entire existence, and I think you're 100% on. It's investing deep in that sort of level of storytelling, probably coupled with like figuring out how to get really, really, really good at AI to reduce redundancies in other areas. And it feels like that combination is worth leaning into.
I mean, like, if I had a company, I I would encourage my whole staff to learn as much about prompt engineering as possible.
Yeah.
That way, they can automate what's mundane and lean more into, I'm not going to let you go. I want to make you twice as effective as you were before. I'm
Yeah.
going to make your life easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And
I'm not going to run from it. It's
yeah.
crazy.
And not just easier, right? Like I'm probably going to let you do more of the things that you actually want to do, right? And I want giving you the opportunity to invest your time into things that are more creative, more rewarding, more
Correct.
human interaction, which is why people
Correct.
get into hospitality to begin with.
Correct.
So, yeah. Well, Scott, we could talk forever. Any like final hot takes you have? You're clearly a force in all the right ways. We've barely scratched the surface on all the incredible things that you've done and adventures that you have. But anything else in terms of just predictions you have, or words of wisdom, or anything else you'd want to share before we wrap?
Yeah. So I really want to get into the whole OTAs versus direct booking saga because that's a
Please.
constant battle in the industry. And I just want to say that OTAs basically, for lack of a better word, they're a discovery channel. plain and
Yeah.
simple.
Yep.
They put you in front of the people who you'd never find otherwise. But the moment that guest checks in, it is your job to make sure they never book you through OTA again.
Yeah.
And that means offering incentives, personalized recognition, unforgettable moments. The line is margin. If OTA fees are eating into your profitability, you're letting someone else own your guests,
Yeah.
which is not what you want. You got to use OTAs to fill the top of your funnel, but reinvest energy into converting those same guests into loyal direct bookers for life.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think on that note, because obviously we could talk about this all day, and
Yeah.
we've talked about this a lot on the show, but like when you think about the conversion component from check-in, let's say through checkout, just to make it easy, it's been historically very hard to deliver a truly, I talk about this all the time. We've talked about personalized marketing for years, for decades probably. You've been talking about it, longer than maybe anyone else in this industry, but like really true personalization wasn't possible until today. Like with the advent of AI and the scale and the efficiency gains, you're at least informed on how to be personal to each and every guest. Now, whether you take action on that is entirely different. But I would argue we're kind of at the moment where you truly can personalize everything to every guest every day with at least the knowledge of what to do and how to do it. Where do you think the stopgap is? What do we need to be doing better to increase that conversion rate from first time booking on OTA to never booking again on OTA?
It's leadership issues.
Mm.
The
Say
leadership
more.
issues, the training that you give your staff, how your staff is treated. The better you treat your staff, it trickles down to the guests. The better they're going to treat the guests.
Yeah.
But most places treat their employees like slaves.
Yeah.
They pay them nothing. They give them, like how many employees today are doing so much more tasks than they were hired for, but their salary remains the same. Like it's a joke.
Yeah.
It starts with the leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have all the tools. The tools are easy. The tools are tech. That's only getting better by the day. Of course you can. But if you have an angry employee behind the desk at check-in that's underpaid and overworked and underappreciated, doesn't matter how much tech you have.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that will change with AI? Like, do you think we'll get smart on?
That's not an AI problem. That's a human leadership problem.
But I guess my question is like, do you think we're at a point now where leaders will be like, okay, great, how do we increase wages, and how do we increase efficiencies in other ways in order to do that? Because presumably that's the challenge, unless you feel like it's something else.
I feel that it got better right after COVID because so many people left the industry because they were underappreciated.
Yeah.
And they had to start treating people better. Now they're starting to not come back, but get new people because a lot of those people will never come back again. I have a lot of friends that left the industry for that reason completely. And I feel that we're going back to the way it was before.
Yeah.
Again. So I honestly, until the industry turns over and you have a lot of new leadership coming into the industry that are, younger and raised with that just care. Like I don't know, there's not a technical term for it. Like treat people like humans.
Yeah. 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 And I think that's.
I mean, it's so simple.
It is. It's so simple, and I was talking to. I don't know if you know Erin Hosler, and she's been a luxury lifestyle hotelier her whole career. And one of the things Erin was saying on the show earlier this week, which is very similar to what you're saying now, Scott, is just that. Like she's like the last frontier for true differentiation when it comes to brand building, especially in the luxury lifestyle segment, is service, and service starts with training and staff development. She's like, there's design won't be a differentiator, right? True experience won't be a differentiator. F&B won't be a differentiator. Everyone's moving to this like ultra like incredible, impeccable style, right? Across the spectrum. But money can't buy great training and development, right? Like that has to come with people. Was her sort of big argument. And hearing you say that again, it really does seem like that is the last frontier of true differentiation.
I mean, listen, technology is great, but hospitality still comes down to humanity. Period. The end. AI can't replace someone remembering your name or surprising you with something personal. You having a handwritten note on my bed, which I rarely get, which I feel is the most personal thing you could possibly do for me. And I shout it out on social every time I get it. But you having a handwritten note on my bed doesn't replace the fact that I just checked in with a robot at the front desk.
Exactly.
And I mean 100%. A human acting like a robot. I don't mean an actual robot. Which would probably be better.
That's coming next week. Yeah.
Right.
Oh gosh. Well, Scott, I really am thankful for you, your time, all the incredible things that you've done for the industry, all the challenges that you've given to the industry to get better, to improve. I've really enjoyed our chat today.
Yeah.
Folks want to follow you if they're not already and just connect with you. I'll of course have all your socials linked in the show notes below. But anywhere else you'd have folks go? Like where you mentioned LinkedIn, you trying to get a little bit more active there. Where would you have folks go?
Just anywhere on social.
Anywhere on social.
Mr. Scott Eddy. Yeah. I'll be making an announcement within the next few weeks. I'm starting a podcast.
Hey.
With a friend.
I love it.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes.
Amazing. Well, Scott, thank you so much for your time. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. And again, be sure to follow Scott via your favorite social media below.
All right. Thanks, man.
Hey friends, thanks for joining us for this episode of Behind the Stays. I'd love to know what you thought of the episode. Feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram at Behind the Stays or send me an email at zach@journey.com. If this is your first time tuning in, it's a pleasure to have you and we hope to have you back again soon. But if you've been a listener for a while, I'd greatly appreciate if you'd subscribe to the show if you aren't already, and then leave us a rating and review of the show wherever you're streaming this podcast. Oh, and if you know a hotelier or a hospitality entrepreneur that's building something new and novel, I invite you to introduce them to me so that my team and I can discuss bringing them on the show. Again, you can just shoot me an email at zach@journey.com or a DM on Instagram. Behind the Scenes is brought to you by Journey, a next-generation loyalty program built for the modern traveler. We're looking to onboard new boutique hotels, unique stays, and the top vacation rental management companies onto our platform every day. If you're a hospitality entrepreneur who has a stay or a collection of stays with soul, we'd love for you to apply to join our alliance at journey.com/alliance. Again, that's journey.com/alliance. Thanks for being here, y'all. We will see you next time.